Hey guys! So as you can see, I do not have any eye makeup on because I'm going to teach you how to do that with one brush. So for a couple of weeks now, I have gone over girlfriends' houses, or some of my family and friends have seen my videos and they try to recreate the looks, which thank you for supporting me. But some of them have mentioned to me that they try to follow them, however I use a billion brushes. Or I also noticed that when I'm over at girlfriend's house, they really only have one type of brush, or just one brush in general. So I figured a good little challenge is to do a full eye look, a full-blown smoky eye, every color you can possibly use, just using one brush. So, challenge accepted. I figured right before I get into this look, I would recommend you the perfect brush. This actually doesn't have a name on it, however, I think it's called their blending brush, ultimate blending brush, something along those lines. This is the best inexpensive brush that can give you a full look on your eyes, basically because of its shape. As you can see, when it's flat like this, you can see it's very fluffy, as well as, I mean, you probably can't see it from here, but it's a very fluffy brush. However, it also has a nice flat side, so when you need to pack on shadow onto your lids, this does a great job at that as well. So before we get started in the tutorial, you're gonna need your brush. So I picked, of course, my blending brush from E.L.F, and you're also gonna need some eyeshadows. I'm gonna use this Lorac Mega Pro 3 because I'm currently obsessed with it. So the last thing you're gonna need is some sort of towel or something to wipe your brush off of in between the colors. So I just have like a little hand cloth right here. And let's get started. So the last product that you actually need is an eyelid primer. I'm just gonna use this Urban Decay one right here, but use whatever is best for you. You can either use concealer if you don't feel like spending money on any kind of primer. There's also a lot of drugstore primers that you can use. Going in with our first color from the Lorac Pro 3 palette, we want to start with a transition color. This will just make everything blend easy. So I'm going to start with Walnut for me. That will be a pretty good transition color. And you're going to take your brush and just coat both sides of it, kind of just like that. Tap off the excess. I would always suggest tapping off the excess. It just makes a lot easier when you want to blend things out. You want to layer things up slowly as opposed to just dumping it all on your face and then trying to blend it all out and then realizing it's impossible sometimes. So we're going to just put this right into our crease area, and you can either bring it all the way in, which I'm going to do today. And then you're just going to blend this out. So I would suggest just in between every color, just to keep your brush as clean as possible, is to use that cloth that I told you to get earlier and literally just wipe off the color. All cleaned off. Now we're gonna start building up our crease color. Now you want to use more mattes in the crease, and then all over the lid you want more of a shimmery pop of color on there. So we're going to start with the matte colors. I think I'm going to start with Dusty Mauve, and this is going to be our all over crease color. Same thing, dip your brush on both ends, just like so. Tap off the excess. This is going to take up most of your crease, so you want to take your brush and put it so when it's sitting in your crease, you're kind of sideways with a brush, how you see it like this. And you're just going to take that color, and again, start on the outside. And then start to bring it inwards as well, since we're going to do kind of a deeper look. Okay, so once you look at it and you think it looks very blended out and nice blown out, then we can go in with our next color. So don't forget to wipe off the old color. So the next one I'm going to use is Violet Gray. And this one's a little bit darker than the other one. So since we want to be a little more precise with this, we're actually not going to dip both sides in, both flat sides in, as we were doing before, but instead try to concentrate it more on this upper bit up here. kind of closer up towards the tip, and you're just gonna dip the tip up in the color, tap off all the excess, and then we're gonna start this once again on the outer part of our crease. However, we're gonna hold the brush a little more as if it was kind of pushed into our eye, like in the socket, in the crease pretty much. And take the color again, put a little bit on the outer crease. We're gonna kind of hug our crease, and kind of keep it more in the crease. And once again, just blend it out. Right, clean your brush off once again. This is gonna be the deepest colorful, like purple color. So I'm gonna go in with eggplant, and this we just want on the outer portion of our eye. Take your brush and literally just poke it with the top of it, just with the tip of it. So you're gonna take the color and literally put it exactly where you want the most concentrated color to be. So I'm gonna put it right on the outer V. You can just place it down. And then whatever else you have left on your brush, but really it shouldn't be much of anything left. You can use that to blend it out. Once you clean off your brush again, you're going to take your lid color, which I prefer something very shimmery that's going to pop. So since we're going with a very purple theme today, I'm going to go with this rose quartz color right down here. And I'm just going to take one of the flat sides and just get enough color on the one flat side. And this is going to go right on the lid. You start out wherever, bring it all the way into the inner corner. And so clean off your brush again from the violet gray color. And then especially with black, you want to be super careful because you can overdo it so easily. So I would suggest how we went in with eggplant and just kind of tapped into it like that. Do the same exact thing with jet black, however with like half the amount of pressure from there. And then this is also going to go right in the outer V. You want a little extra highlight and a little pop in the inner corner. You don't even have to use a brush for this. I'm just going to use my finger, and I'm going to go into Tulle, which is like a pink shimmery color. And I'm just going to take a little bit of that and just put that right in the inner corner. So to clean up what we did on the outer corner of our eyes, if you brought it down a little too low like I did, just take a Q-tip and any kind of makeup remover. I'm just going to use this simple cleansing micellar water. You're just going to follow your lower lash line all the way up to your eyebrow, kind of in that direction like that. I just put a little bit down, and then I'll use the dry side to kind of clean up whatever extra, and then you can just see it just cleans it up nicely. So now I'm just going to put on my favorite eyeliner and mascara, and we will be right back. Voila! We're going to finish off the bottom lash line. So we're going to go in with the medium color for a little bit of definition. You're just going to take this, since this is a fluffier brush, you're going to want to use mostly the tip so you don't get it all over the place. So you're going to take that brush, just dip the tip right into there, take off the excess, and then you're just going to run this right along your not your water line, your bottom lash line. And then for a little added dimension on the outer part, you're going to take that eggplant color right at the end over here. Once again, just a little bit of the tip, tap it, take off the excess, and this is just going to go right on the outer like third of your bottom lash line. So this is the final look. I put on some lipstick, and if you're wondering, it is NYX lipstick in the color Doll, but this is the final look. As you can see, it is definitely possible to get something super smoky and super fun with using just one brush. You don't need every brush in the world. It is fun having every brush in the world, but if you can't afford it or if you just can't be bothered, one brush can definitely do the job. Let me know in the comments if you do want to see the same type of video but for your face and using only one brush for just your entire face. Foundation, powder, blush, bronzer, highlight. I have it all. Just let me know down in the comments. I would love to see your feedback. And until next time, I will see you later. Bye.